Okay, welcome everyone as we continue our Motzoi Shabbos marathon over here with incredible Agarata Gemara. The Gemara tells us now, Amali, bottom line of Daf Ayin Gimel Amid Beis. Amali, this Arab said to me, To'ach ve'loch meisei midbar. Come and let me show you those that died in the desert. So that means the Dardeya that died because of the sin of the Meraglim. Ozlei Chazesinu, I went and I saw them. The Damu Kimande Mifsame, it's as if they were mellow with wine. In other words, all these days their bodies didn't decompose and they had a appearance of happiness upon them. And this is, of course, thank you very much. This is, of course, because they were occupied day and night with learning Torah. That's what they did in the Dardeya. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'hakol niyeh b'dvaro. Remember what we say in the Siyam when we finish learning. B'shach b'cha tishmar alecha. Right? It says that when we lie down in the grave after 120, Tishmar Alecha, it will protect you, the Torah. So people that were saturated with Torah, they were in the grave as if they were mellow. And Viganu Afrakid, they were lying on their back. This is one of the sources in Shas for burying people on their back. The Havazakifa Barke Dechad Mina, one of them had his knee in an upward position. V'ayil taya tusei barke, and they were so gigantic that the Arab was able to go under the knee, kirochiv gamla, while he was riding a tall camel, uzakifa rumche, and with his spear upright, v'loy nagabe, and he didn't touch the knee. In other words, there was enough room in the triangle made by his erect knee, erect foot, that he could ride underneath it on a camel with his spear upright. Now, Rabbi Barbachana saw that he was wearing tzitzis, and this was a golden opportunity to prove whether the halacha is like Beis Shammai or Beis Hillel. There's a machlokes if the Beis Shammai says that there's 4 threads folded over, Beis Hillel says 3, and this is one of the 6 cases where this is one of the cases where we paskin like Beis Shammai, and also he wanted to prove how many rotations you make in each cavity between the knots. So what he did was, he cut off one of the corners of the tchelis, of the tzitzis of one of them. However, as soon as he cut it off, they couldn't move. They were frozen to the spot. So the Arab said, Amali Dilma Shaklas Midei Minayu, did you perhaps take something for them? Ahadre, you better return it. The Gemire, we have a tradition, demand the Shakal Midei Minayu, if you take something from them, you're not going to be able to move. So Ozle Ahadrase, I returned it, Vada Mistagilan. Then we were able to walk. He also, the comment Rabbanon, when I came into the base of Medrash, Amruli, they told me sternly, Kol Abba Chamra. Abba was Rabba's proper name. We find this in Yerushalmi a lot, that when we call somebody Rabba, it's Rav Abba, or like Rav Avina became Ravina. So Kol Abba Chamra is a donkey, the Kol Baba Chana Sichsa is a fool. Why did you cut it off? If the halacha is like Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, you just should have counted the threads, and you just should have counted how many rotations they made. You know, how big the cavities were in between the knots. Well, why do you have to cut it off for? This, of course, this Gemara is heavily discussed in the Paiskim, regarding the question of whether you bury a mace with tzitzis. Others say that you can't bring any raya from this Gemara because they went into their graves alive. Every Tisha B'Av they went into the grave alive, and then those that didn't die got out of the grave. And therefore, since they went into the grave alive, maybe that's why they had tzitzis.
They were when died. They should have had tzitzis on them. If they went in alive with tzitzis.
So that's why they had tzitzis. There wouldn't be no raya that in a regular case you should put on tzitzis. That's what they say. Also, there's discussion about the tzitzis. The tzitzis makes a person look as if he fulfilled all 613 mitzvahs. Is that considered yuara? Our custom is to put on tzitzis and then to passel it. We put it.
Very holy people. Should their boys make a nest that nobody should be able to find them? Like an Arab should go find the grave?
Only by Moshe Rabbeinu, not anybody else.
Okay.
As I was saying, we put on tzitzis, then we disqualify it. And there's the big legend about the Gra, that the Gra wanted to be buried with kosher tzitzis. They was famous with the Gra. The Gra used to cry and say that while a person's alive, he could have such a mitzvah, and it says that when we do tzitzis in the next world, we'll be zeichet to 700 avodim for each corner. I mean, so the Gaon wanted to be buried with kosher tzitzis. The one who he gave the commandment was one of the members of the Chevra Kadisha, but at the time he felt ill. Maybe he had to go to the bathroom or something. And when he left, they didn't know about the Gaon's instructions, and they parceled the tzitzis.
How do they parcel it?
They cut off one corner. So when he came back, he was very perturbed because he got this instruction from the Gaon. But the Maisa is the Gedolim of Vilna decided that it was Min HaShemayim, that they shouldn't change from the Minig HaMokam, so they left the puzzle. It's a famous Maisa with the Gra. Amalei Ta'ach V'lach Har Sinai. Come and let me show you Har Sinai. So Ozlei Chazoi, it went and they saw the Hadrulei Akrava. There were scorpions. I think there's a Gersa Akravei. There was scorpions around Har Sinai. V'kaimei kichamrei chivarte, and they stood like white donkeys. Shomasi Baskol, I heard a Baskol, Shemeres Oili, woe is me shenishbati, that I swore to exile my children. V'achshav shenishbata me, now that I swore, me meferli, who is going to annul it? It's very interesting that it uses a lashon of mefer and not a lashon of matir. That's very interesting, because normally a father or a husband is mefer, but a rabbanim are matir. Ki asay l'kamin rabbanan, when Rabbi Babachana came before the rabbis, Amali, again he was criticized. Kol Abba Chamra, and every Abba is a donkey. Kol Babachana Sichsa, and every Babachana is a fool. Hayalach Leimer, if Hashem was hinting for Hafara, you should have said Mufalach. So Rabbi Babachana said he was afraid to open his mouth, because he thought that the Rebbeinu Shalom maybe was regretting that because of the bittul Torah of people, he was regretting that he said he wouldn't destroy the world anymore by the Mabel, and he don't want to annul that. V'hu sava dilma shvuasa the Mabelu. The Rabbanan said, if so, Hashem wouldn't have said oili. Im kain oili lama. If it's to the benefit of Klal Yisrael, he wouldn't say oili. Let me see if I have it here. I think I do. Hold on a second. Yeah, I do. I have it here.
Too much salt.
I have it over here. So this is a rock purportedly from Har Sinai, and as you could see, it has bushes on it. As you could see, this rock is from Har Sinai, and it has bushes. And if you break it open, there's bushes inside it as well. It's really rather remarkable, and that's Har Sinai is from the lashon of sneh, of Moshe Rabbeinu's bush, and it's really rather remarkable. I got this 43 years ago from Pesach Levi, who was by the site of Har Sinai. I don't think you ever seen this. This is something that's absolutely remarkable. You see the little bushes on it? And I cracked it open, and inside it is also bushes.
I remember it.
Yeah.
You get a couple $1 million for it.
I think Gedalia saw this already, huh?
Oh,
I split it open. You see on this inside?
Look like little.
Yeah.
Almost look like little fossils.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The Medrash talks about it.
Don't go to a dinner and pass it around.
I split it open with a chisel. Okay. I didn't hold it up to Torah anytime, so let's hold it up to Torah anytime. You see inside the bushes as well. Anyway, Amalei to'ach v'lach bluei de kairach. Come and let me show you where kairach v'adasai was swallowed up. Chazoi trei bizei. I saw two cracks. V'avakamapke kutra, and smoke was coming out of the cracks. Shokal gavava de amra. I took a ball of wool. Shokal, not he did. The Arab took a ball of wool. Shokal gavava de amra. And he dipped it in water. Udatzite barosha de rumcha, and he stuck it on the head of a spear. Va'ayle hasam, and lowered it down through the crack. V'chi apik, and when he took it out, havi ichrich ichrucha, even though the ball of wool was soaked, it was fully charred from the fire of Gehenna. Amali, then he said to me, Atzis my shamas, bend down and listen to what you hear. V'shamas davi imrin, that they were saying Moshe v'sarasa emes, Moshe and his Torah is true. V'heim badoyin, and they're inventors. They concocted things. Amali, and the Arab told me, Kol tlosin yoimei mahadrulu gehenim lahacha. Gehenim brings them back over here, kabasa b'kalachas, like a meat on a rotisserie. V'imrei hachi, and they say Moshe v'sarasa emes, Moshe and his Torah is true. V'heim badoyin, and they're liars. Amali, then he told me, Ta'ach ve'lach, come let me show you, Eicha dinoshke ara urikia adadi. Come let me show you a place where the earth and the sky touch each other. It's hard to know what this literally means. You know, the horizon looks like there's a point where it touches each other. So when I got to that place, so the Bach has a girsa that there looked like there were many windows in heaven. So shakalta l'siltoi, I took my basket of bread and isnachta b'kafta d'rikia, and I placed it in a window. Adematzlina, after I prayed, Ba'isa, I looked for it, v'lei ashkachte, and I couldn't find my basket. V'lei ashkichisa. Aminali, I said to myself, Ikegan ve'ach, even over here there's thieves. Amali, so he said, no. It's just that there's a orbit, there's a rotation. Amali hai galgala de rekiyahu dahada. That's the rotation of the heaven. Natar ad lamacha, wait till tomorrow, and you'll find your basket. It's going to wind its way back. Rabbi Yochanan related, Zimna chada v'kazlina b'svinta. One time we were traveling in a boat, v'chazinan hu kavra, and we saw a fish. The apke l'reishe miyama, it lifted its head out of the water. V'damyan eine, and its eyes were so huge, its eyes looked ketrei sihare, like two moons. V'nafetz maya mitarte zimei, and water was coming out of its two nostrils, ketrei mabre de Surah, like the two rivers of Surah. That's how giant it was. Rav Safra Mishtai, Zimna Chada v'Kazlina b'Sventa, we were traveling in a boat. The Chazinan hu kavra, and I saw a fish, the apke l'reishe miyama, it picked its head up out of the water. V'havale karne, and it had horns. V'chakikale, and carved on the horns was Ano ber yakala, I am a small creature shabiyam, and a small creature in the yam, v'avinon, and it was tlas mea parsa, it was 300 parsais. V'azilna, and I'm going lepuma de Livyasin. I'm going into the mouth of Livyasin for its dinner. That's how giant Livyasin was. Amar Rav Ashi, how easy the Yamahu. The Gemara tells us that every creature that's on the dry land is a parallel creature in the sea. So how easy the Yamahu. This is a goat of the water. The bechisha, that with its horns it digs in the riverbeds and looks for food. V'islaikani, and therefore it has horns. Rabbi Yochanan Mishtoi, Rabbi Yochanan related, Zimna chada havakazlina b'svinta. One time we were traveling in a boat. The chazina nahu kartalisa, and we saw a treasure chest. It was embedded on the outside of the treasure, beautiful gems and precious pearls. And surrounding it was a type of fish known as the karsha fish. Nachis bar Arma, a diver went down, Nachis bar Amorai, la'asiyua, to retrieve the chest. However, v'rogish ubay l'shamte la'atmei, one of the fish noticed him and wanted to, bite his thigh. V'shada zika dechala, the diver was prepared and he had a flask, a skin of vinegar, and he shot a skin of vinegar, emptied it at it, v'nochis, and the fish went down. However, as he tried to get the chest, nafik baskala, a basket went out. Amalon my isluchu ba'ade kartalisa did be said Reb Chanina ben Daisa. What do you want with the chest of the wife of Reb Chanina ben Daisa? Remember, she's the one that refused to take the table when she heard that they were going to be missing leg of the table. When she heard that she's going to be missing one of the legs of the table in the next world. What do you want with the chest of the wife of Reb Chanina ben Daisa? The asida the shadya tchelis b'al tzaddik el almadasi. There will be tchelis and reward in it for the righteous in the next world. Many of the Mefarshim say over here that it tells us only what was on the outside of the chest, because we can only have a very peripheral idea what will be the reward for the righteous in the next world. The actual reward, ayin le'rasa zulasecha, no eye will behold besides you, mashiyasa l'mechakim, what we are going to do for those that hope for you. Rabbi Yehuda in Dua, this is either Rabbi Yehuda the Ethiopian or Rabbi Yehuda the Indian, Mishtoi, related, Zimna Chada Avazlina B'Sfinta, we were traveling in a boat, the Chazinano Evan Tova, and we saw a precious gem, the Avahodu Le Tanina, that was surrounded by a serpent. Nochis Bar Amaroi La Asuya, a diver went down to get it. Asa Tanina, the snake came, and Kaboy Lemivla Lasvinta, a snake came and wanted to swallow the boat. Asa Pishkansa, here we get this female raven, Asa Pishkansa Poske L'Reshe, and bit off the head of the serpent. Isapchu Mayav Avadama, the serpent was so big that the water turned into blood. Asa Tanina Chavre, another serpent came, Shokle, it took that precious gem, Vitolule, and put it on the serpent whose head was bitten up, V'choya, and it was resurrected. So once it was resurrected, it again tried to swallow the boat. It came to try to swallow up the boat. And again the bird came, the female raven, and cut off its head, and tova, and it took that precious stone and shadua l'svinta, and threw it into the boat. There were some salted birds. That means that they were shechted and salted to be preserved. There were some salted birds, ba'adon, in the boat. They put the gem on top of those birds, and shaklu, they came back alive. They grabbed the stone, and flew away with it. Nice sea story. Tan Rabbanan. Ma'aseh Rabbi Eliezer, there was an incident with Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua, Sheyabon B'Svina, they were traveling in a boat, via Rabbi Eliezer Yoshin, Rabbi Eliezer was sleeping, Rabbi Yeshua near, Rabbi Yeshua was awake, Nizdaza Rabbi Yeshua gave a big tremble, V'nina Rabbi Eliezer, and from it Rabbi Eliezer woke up. Amalei Ma'azeh Yeshua, he said, what's the matter, Yeshua? Mibnei Ma Nizdazta, why did you shake like that? I saw a great light in the sea. So he says, oh, Shema Einov Shel Livyasan Raisa. You saw the light of Elyasan, the eyes of Livyasan. Because the eyes of Livyasan has a glow like the sun. Dichsiv Einov, its eyes are ka'afapei shachar, are like the eyelids of the morning sun. Amravashi, Amali Huna Bar Nasan. Rashi said it was related to me by Huna Bar Nasan. Zimna Chada Havakazlinam b'Midbara. One time we were traveling in the desert. Vahavi Atma Debisra Ba'adan. We had a shank of meat with us. And of course we had to traber it. We had to remove the Giranasha. So Paschana, we cut it open. Nakrina, we removed the Giranasha, Va'anachna Izbe, and we put it down on some herbs. And now we went to get wood in order to make a barbecue. Ademaisinon Sive, when we went to get the wood, Cholam Atma, the thigh that was cut up open, the cut was completely healed. The Tavina, then we roasted it with the coals that we had. Ki Hadron Labasar Tleis and Yache, when we returned after 12 months, the Tleisa Yache Shata, Chazino Lano Gumre, we saw the coals, they still weren't out. They still were live coals. So Amali, so Amema told me how Isva, the herbs were Samatre Hava. Samatre has the property to heal flesh. And I know Gumre, those coals were Deris Mahave. They were coals of broom. Remember we said that if a person speaks Lashon Hara, he deserves to be burnt with gachle risamim, with coals of broom that never go out. Vayivra Elikim, and Hashem created es hataninim agdolim, the great sea monsters. So hacha targimu azile diyama. Here they are explained as the unicorn of the sea. Reb Yochanan says these are the two species of Leviathan. Zel Leviathan nochish beriach. This is Leviathan, the straight snake, like straight, like a bar in a door. The Leviathan nochish akalasan, and Leviathan, the crooked snake. Shenemar b'yoymahu, in that day yifked Hashem b'char b'akosha. Hashem will remember with his mighty sword and slay the Leviathan. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav. Kol ma'ashibar HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'olamai, everything that Hashem created in this world, Zachar Nekeva Brab. He created male and female in order to propagate the race. Af Leviathan Nachash Bariach Leviathan Nachash Akalasan, even the mighty Leviathan, the straight snake, and the mighty Leviathan, the crooked snake, Zachar Nekeva Brab. However, if they would be allowed to procreate, they would destroy the world. If they would be able to mate, they would destroy the world. The world wouldn't be able to contain them. He made the Zachar sterile, and he killed the Nekeva. Now you might ask, if he made the male sterile, then why do you have to kill the Nekeva? The answer is because the Nekeva might have mated with somebody else. And he preserved with salt the female for the righteous in the next world. And he killed the serpent in the sea. Now, and also the mighty behema that needs to graze on 1,000 mountains. Zachar Nekeva Bram was also created male and female.
In English,
What?
behemoth, which means a huge, something very, very tall, a behemoth.
Yeah, so some say behemoth, right? Behemoth. But some say that this is the re'ain, the unicorn. If they would be able to mate, so what did Hashem do? He castrated the male, and he took away the passion from the female. He made her
Still.
not sterile. He made her cold. He made her. He made her not interested. B'shomer tzadikim lo'ased love, and it kept it for the righteous in the next world. Shenemar hinei nok choichoi b'masnav. It still has its full strength in its loins. Zezachar. That means that it never had bia. It was castrated. V'ainai b'shvirei bitnai, and it still has its strength in its belly. Zunekeva that never gave birth. So says the Gemara, so then why didn't he do the same thing by the Leviathan? Why did he have to kill her? Hasam nami lisrasei l'zachar, castrate the male, the litzna l'nekeva, and make the nekeva frigid. Why do you have to kill her? Says the Gemara, even a frigid female fish could still have mate because their fish are very promiscuous. Dogim pritze. The fish are very promiscuous. Says the Gemara, v'la'avid ipcha. Why didn't he kill the male? Iba yasema nekeva licha male. A female fish that's salted is better. Iba yasema kevan dechsiv livyasan zeh yitzach l'sachik by. Whatever this means, Hashem created the Leviathan to sport with. It wouldn't be proper for him to do it with a female. That's why he killed the female and kept the male alive. Says the Gemara, by the behemoths of Hari Elef, why didn't he kill the female and salt it? Says the Gemara, well, that's because Kavra Milcha Male, fish that's salted is good, Bisra Milcha Malicha, meat that's salted, Loy Male, is not good. Vam Rabbi Yehuda Amarav, B'shosha B'kish HaKadosh Baruch Hu Livroi, says Ha'olam, when he wanted to create the world, Amaloi, the world was full of water. Amaloi L'sar Shel Yam, he told the Sar of the sea, which we'll see its name was a Rav, Psak Picha Ubala Kol Mei Mishabaylam. Open your mouth and swallow all the water in the world. It's enough that I swallow the runoff from the seas, that it shouldn't drown the world. Miyad Ba'id for refusing the commandment of the Bari Eilam, Hashem kicked it v'hargu and caused it to die. Shenema b'koichai roiga hayam, in his strength he split the sea, uvisvunasai, and with his understanding mochatz Rav, he beat Rav. Rav Yitzchak Shmamina Sar Shel Yam, the Sar of the sea, Rav Shmai. Now, its rotting body, Vilmale Mayim Mechasen, I say, if the water wouldn't be covering it, Ein Kol Beria Yechayla Lamoid Berechai. Nobody would be able to withstand its stench. Shenema lo yareyu v'lo yashchisu. There won't be bad, there won't be destruction. B'chol ar kachi, in all of my holy mountain. Kimayim liyam mechasim, like water covers the sea. Al tikre liyam mechasim, el l'sor shel yam mechasim. Water covers the sar of the yam so that we shouldn't die from its stench. Vam Rabbi Yehuda Amarav, Yarden Yoitze Mimaris Pamias. The Yarden emanates from the cave of Pamias, which is in Caesarea. Tanya Nami Hachi. Yarden Yoitze Mimaris Pamias. The Yarden comes out of the cave of Pamias. Umahalach b'yamashel Sifchi or b'yamashel Tveria, and it travels through the sea of Sifchi and the sea of Tveria. Umiskalgel v'yored l'yam hagadol, and it keeps on traveling until it descends to the Euphrates. Umiskalgel v'yored, and keeps on going down ad shemagia lepiv shel Livyasim, until it reaches the mouth of the Livyasim. Shenamar yiftach, it is confident, ki yigach yarden el piyu, that the Yarden will go into her mouth. The problem is that this pasuk is not talking about the Levyasin. This pasuk is talking about behemoths of Hari Elef. Maskava Rava Bar Ula Hai Behema Bahari Elef Ksiv. So what do you mean it goes into the mouth of the Levyasin? Elam Rava Bar Ula a Masai Behemais Bahari Elef Betuchais. When does the Behema of Hari Elef know that they'll still live? It says that Lasid Lavai, the Behema of Hari Elef, will have a fight with the Levyasin, and they'll both die. So when does the Behema of Hari Elef, when could he be confident that his time is not up? Bizman shemagiach Yarden bepiv shel Levyasin. If the waters of the Yarden are still flowing into the mouth of the Levyasin, so then the Behema of Hari Elef knows that it's not the time yet for that fateful fight, which will mark its end. Okay, this is tonight's adventure. Tomorrow night and the rest of the week is at 8. We're going to do the Mishnah Yomis now, Rabbi Isai.